In our last video, we are going to discuss how we can use a loop to repeat the process of printing check for 6 times or more than 6 times. For that, we use a concept called loop. Loop is a technique in which we repeat the same code over and over again. So we specify the number of times that the code will be repeated. So if we go to the Visual Basic Code, this is our actual code. It has 2 lines. One line prints the code. The second line adds one value to the cell row number 13 and column 2. If we want to repeat this code several times, what we have to do is to add the loop technique. We are using for loop, so I'm typing for, and then we type the variable name which will be changed in each run of the loop. So if I type I will have a value of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I type Z, the Z will have a value of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if I type, let's say Fahad, so Fahad will have a value of 1, 2, 3. So whatever variable you use here, it will keep on changing the value. So let's say we type Fahad so that you understand that Fahad is not part of Visual Basic, rather it's a variable. For Fahad is equal to 1 to 6. Okay, and then before the end of the macro, the code that you want to repeat, it should be between this for statement and end for statement. And next Fahad. So Fahad is a variable that assumes the value of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when we run the code, in the first run of this code, Fahad will have a value of 1. Then when it reaches this part, Fahad will assume a value of 2. And similarly, it will increase the Fahad value by 1, so it will become 2, and then it will run again, and when it reaches this part, it will add 1 to the Fahad, so it becomes 3. So Fahad will keep on changing its value until it reaches 6. So once it reaches 6, then it stops. So I do not want to change this specific macro. Rather, I would like to have another macro that will have 6 checks at the same time. So let me delete all these with Control Z. So I have deleted everything. I'm creating a copy of this macro. So I copied this whole text, then I'm pasting it. So this time I'm changing name of the macro. Let's call it print six checks. And to this macro, I'm adding the for loop. So for Fahad is equal to 1 to 6, and before the end of the macro, I'm adding 1 to Fahad. So next Fahad. Okay, instead of Fahad you can type I. Most of the programmer use I. For I is equal to 1 to 6, and next here they will type next I. But I used Fahad intentionally so that you know that this is something you type from your own self. It is not part of the Visual Basic. So now we have two macros. This one just prints one check, and this one prints 6 checks. So close it, and now let's come back to UBL. Let's copy this macro. If I right click, copy this button. If I right click on it, it is now editable. So once these small circles appear, I click somewhere inside this box and copy it and paste it. Actually, I'm saving some time. Otherwise, you can insert this shape from the insert menu in shape. So right click, and now you can change. If you click left click, then it will execute the macro, but I do not want the macro to execute at this stage. Rather, I just want to change the button. So print 6 checks. I'm changing the text so that it is convenient for readability. Now I'll change the macro assignment. So right click, assign macro, and I'm assigning print 6 checks. Okay, and let's also format this check so that it is a bit different from the other one. So let's assign some okay. So now this macro will print a single check. This one will execute the single code 6 times, each time increasing the value of this employee by 1. So let's see it. So click. It asks for, let's say this is P5. Okay, now the next one is the next person is ready. P6, P7, and you see the employee number keeps on changing, and the new data comes to the sheet and it gets printed. P8, and the process will continue until we reach printing 6 checks. So okay, the process is complete now. So we were at check number 3, but now we are at check number 9. So it printed actually 6 checks. Okay, so have some practice on it while I record the attendance. Thank you.